we'll start off by setting up a layout for your environment. So you can see I'm starting off with some flat files, going to SQL Server, doing a migration in today's example to Snowflake, and then comparing against Power BI. So we can build a structure based on your environment. If I copy this, just to save me creating the structure myself, you can see this is my landscape I've made up for today, and my different types of tests I want to do at different points along the way. I'll copy that, go to Tosca, and just paste that that structure over here. And now I can go through using my wizard to create the first set of tests, using the wizard over there, and then I can focus more on my reconciliations and transformations down here and my reporting and profiling. So let's do some examples. And if I start off by pointing to a file, and we'll point to the CSV that I mentioned, we pulled from Medicare. So let's navigate to my files. And here I'm going to point to complications and deaths by hospitals. Load up the CSV. We can push the first column to the header. We can say whether we want fixed lengths or we want to choose our delimiter, and we'll get a nice preview of the file. Then, based on your business rules that you're actually testing against, I can hit the next button now and say what type of tests do I want to run for this file. And you can see it gives me a preview here, so I can say, for example, I want to make sure the facility ID has no empty values. I want to make sure it's numeric. I want to make sure the minimum value is, let's say, 0, 1, 0, 1. And I can say the maximum values, for example, and I'll make something up here, 5. Okay. So we're basically using these tick boxes, and these are referencing those templates I showed you before. So they're out of the box, or you can create and customize them yourself. But for now, let's stick with that. Let's say that also has no empty, and I'll just create a few. Let's say you get to state and you want to customize your own. I can say it has no empty values, and I want to say it has a value range. So we want to make sure that this field has the correct states. Anything outside of the actual 50 states should throw back an error. So I've got them all copied here. Let's copy my states, go back here, and paste them in here. And now you can see it's going to do a value range check against the values that I've pasted in here. So you can set up a lot of these on the fly within the actual wizard, or you can customize the templates as well, like I mentioned and showed before. So I'll do a few more, so we have a few more tests created at the end. Let's say there's a denominator, and this is a unique one. There's a score, and there's a row count. You might know what that total is. Let's make up a number here again. All of this will be created for you. I'll hit the next button. That's my predefined template. And what we can also do is create an execution list to hook up to any build tools or schedulers to run these periodically or when it makes sense. And we can tie it back to a business requirement, whether you enter these yourself or whether you pull them in from another tool like Jira or Azure DevOps. You can prioritize them and do risk-based testing. So here we'll report on number of tests that pass and fail, and here we'll report on the business risk being covered. I'll hit the finish button, and now based on the pre-built models, the pre-built templates, or the ones you've customized, it's going to go through, pull the information it needs, and create these tests. This is a very simple example, just using a basic flat file in CSV format, but we can do these on a large scale where we can potentially also generate tests by the thousands when we're doing them, for example, on database level for vital checks, and doing metadata or format or nullness, or checking that the foreign keys on the source match the target. All of these tests are normally skipped over in data warehouse testing because they're extremely time consuming. But here we can set them up from day one and identify issues as they happen and pinpoint where the data goes wrong. So you can see here's my tests that have been created. If I select my value range one, this is my execution list. I can jump to the actual test that was generated. There's the template, and if I expand the actual test that will run at runtime, it's going to point to my file, point to the column state, and check the value range matches these ranges that I set up through the wizard. Okay. What it also does at the same time is it creates a data sheet. So this is basically creating data-driven tests using the source and target or single source like now, parameterizing it all using the dates, the file names, tables, columns, the types of tests, and these can be updated later if you want to, or you can go through the wizard again, and then we can click on that and simply do an update, which we call reinstantiate. So to quickly show you that, let's just add another value to our range here, and we'll call ZZZ, so we can see it very clearly. Come over here, do an update, Click into here, and then you can see I've added my ZZZ to the value range. So all your maintenance is done in the test sheets or the templates, and Tosca will generate these tests on a large scale for you using data-driven testing. I mentioned our risk-based testing. All your requirements and tests can be prioritized using frequency and damage, and this will give you a more meaningful risk-based report.